Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Syifa Soraya Zhafarina, 2070100014. Today I will perform about monologue from the subject drama performance. I hope you all enjoy it. Memories of a shy woman. Now I will write a confession, first and last confession. It's so hard to write a confession like this, I won't be able to last time. It's so hard to write a confession like this, I can't really explain why. I know the memories were overwhelming me and it was clear why. At this moment, the memories overwhelmed me as if they became one with my blood and poisoned my whole body. I became as if one with my blood and poisoned my whole body. I got suffocated by it. It's this kind of feeling that drives me to write down because of it. It's this kind of feeling that prompted me to write this confession. This morning, I saw the yellow tree in front of the veranda had bloomed again. The sound of birds squeaking while jumping on branches. The sunlight felt very birds chirping while jumping on the branches. Sunlight feels very peaceful. This reminds me of Carnine when he first realized. This reminds me of Carnine when he first confessed his love for me. The morning, along with the yellow flowers, proclaimed their love for me. The morning as the yellow flowers bloom and fall. Yes, maybe every second since today I will not be able to bloom and fall. Yes, maybe every second since today I will not be able to escape the memories of Carnine. I am now 53 years old. In the last when I first him, Carnine, I was 17 years old. Still loved wearing skirts and dolan-dolanan in groups with other girls. And Carnine, how should I describe him? It's amazing how to walk. How should I describe him? It's amazing. The way he walks suggests that he is a free young man who is full of joy in suggesting that he is a free young man who is full of joy in his life. Hair is very black, wavy shoulder length. His eyebrows are thick. He is not his life. His hair is very black, wavy shoulder length. It's not that high, but it's not that low either. If he entered and result of the house, he would be so high, but not low either. When he entered and threshold of the house, he was about an inch and a half lower than the top. His body is sturdy. He always smiled an inch and a half lower than his peak. His body is sturdy. He always smiled at anyone and was good at making jokes. He always had fairy tales, riddles, and stories to anyone and was good at humor. He always has fairy tales, riddles, and stories that can make anyone laugh or even hear it. He is also the one who can make anyone laugh or even touch to hear it. He is also good at writing and reading poems. When he laughs, his voice is loud. He is good at writing and reading poetry. When he laughs, his voice is loud. He has many male and female friends. He is always accepted by anyone. Sometimes, when we were playing rujak-rujakan, suddenly he came with one or two male friends, and they immediately devoured rujak without permission. First, two male friends, and they immediately devoured salad without permission. We girls with them straight away, but Carnine never. We girls with them straight away, but Carnine never ran when I hit him. He even seemed to give up his body while running if I hit him. He even seemed to give up his body while looking at me. I was embarrassed, and when I did, Karen started to joke and looked at me. I was embarrassed, and when I did, Karen began to joke and seek attention. I couldn't help but laugh, but also didn't dare make a face seeking attention. I couldn't help but laugh, but also didn't dare show my face to him. Then he started teasing me more and more until I ran into the house and saw him. Then he became even more teasing until I ran into the house and didn't come out again. Stayed in my room reminiscing how cute he was and didn't come out again. Stayed in my room reminiscing how funny he was and how fun he was. How fun it is. One day, when my friends and I were jalan-jalanan cycling to the sightseeing, a friend of mine said Carnine once told him that he was interested in a friend. I said Carnine once told him that he was attracted to me. Hearing that, my face turned red, and my friends started making fun of me. Hearing that, my face turned red, and my friends started making fun of me and setting me up with Carnine. I was sweating nervous and very embarrassed. I set myself up with Carnine. I became sweaty, nervous, and very embarrassed. I denied and refused to be messed up like that. But my friends that argue with me and refused to be messed up like that. But my friends won't stop. Finally, because I couldn't stand the teasing of my friends, I turned around to stop. Finally, because I couldn't stand the taunts of my friends, I turned my bike around and didn't pay any heed to their screams. Since then, I have always stayed away from Carnine. I'm not afraid. I'm not mad at him, but when I see him, I get excited and I'm so embarrassed. Sometimes I like to meet him. I get excited and very embarrassed. Sometimes I like to secretly pay attention to it too. And how embarrassed I used to be when I secretly watched it, and how embarrassed I used to be when I found out that he evidently knows I've been paying attention. Previously, I knew that evidently he known I often pay attention. Before, I used to talk to him a lot, but because of friends' matchmaking actions, they often talk to him. But because of what my friends were doing to match us up, I often felt awkward when I asked him to talk. My sentence matched us, so I often felt awkward when he was asked to talk. My sentences are always short: yes, no, I don't know, and my face is always lowered. And my face is always down. Carnine thinks I am not displeased with him or to him. And if Carnine asks me why did I act strangely like that, I behaved strangely like that, I was confused, and then my f- and then run away. Of course, I'm not mad at him. How do I really feel about him? How he hard to say. It's hard to explain exactly. How he hard to say. It's hard to explain properly. I'm confused. I'm pounding. I can't control myself anymore. And I'm not confused. I'm pounding. I can't control myself anymore. and I can tell him that I can only run, can tell him that I can only run. It seems that Carnine has been irritated with my attitude for a long time. Then he never approached me again. If he happened to be between me and my friends, he didn't approach me anymore. If he happens to be between me and my friends, he doesn't pay attention to me anymore. He was always joking with other girls, especially with watching me again. He was always joking with other girls, especially with Ndang. And everyone knows that Ndang really sympathizes with Karnain. And I'm Ndang, and everyone knows that Ndang really sympathizes with Karnain. I feel hurt when Karnain pays attention to Ndang. Then I put on a face that felt hurt when Karnain noticed Ndang. I then put a frown on Karnain, and there was tension between us. Tensions without words, calls, and Karnain, and there is tension between us. The tension without words that only each of us could feel. I showed anger and words which only each of us could feel. I showed an angry attitude, and Caroline showed a nonchalant attitude. This kind of shared goes on for a long time. Caroline shows an indifferent attitude. This kind of shared goes on for a long time too. Caroline is really annoying, but I can't remove him from either. Carnine, Carnine is really annoying, but I can't get him out of my dream. Precisely because of that annoyance, I even always reminisce about my daydream. Precisely because of that irritation, I even always reminisce about him. I'm ashamed of myself, of him. I'm ashamed of myself. One afternoon, when I was sitting studying under the yellow tree in front of the house, the yellow tree uh, and then suddenly I saw Carnine who's already standing in front of me. I didn't realize how suddenly I saw Carnine already standing in front of me. I didn't realize how he had come. At the time, my parents were not at home. The state of the house he has come. At the time, my parents were not at home. The house is very quiet. I was very surprised by Carnine's sudden arrival. It was very quiet. I was very surprised by Carnine's sudden arrival. Then came my fear. I'm pounding, but then he said, then came my fear. I'm pounding, but then he said, do not be afraid. Maybe my arrival has been a surprise. Do not be afraid. Maybe my arrival has surprised you. I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry. His words and voice were soothing. He smiled, then I replied. His words and voice were soothing. He smiled, and I smiled back. Then he said again. He smiled. Then he said again, you don't mind if I stop by for a bit, do you? You don't mind me stopping by, do you? I just smiled but didn't answer. He smiled wider and sat down on the bench next to me. Then he said again next to me. Then he said again. Some days I feel restless. I feel your attitude towards me. Days I felt restless. I find your attitude towards me very strange lately. I mean, different than unusual. Have you been angry lately? So strange. I mean, different than usual. Are you mad at me? To me, I just kept my head down. He then asked again. I silently bowed my head. He then asked again, if you are yes, you are angry with me. What mad at me? What's the reason? Try to say yes. Try to say don't be silent like that. Tell me frankly, maybe I can change. Don't be silent like that. Tell me frankly. Maybe I can change anything that makes you angry talk. Whether makes you angry talk. I keep quiet, but when he pressed on, I answered in a very harsh voice. I'm not angry, really. Then he asked again what it all meant. I'm not I'm not angry, really. Then he asked again what was the meaning of all my strange behavior. How can I explain that to him while my strange behavior? How can I explain this to him when I myself uh, and and I myself confused why I am acting strangely like that? So I kept quiet. I myself confused. I was behaving strangely like that, so I kept quiet. He kept asking about it. He even asked me if I had been asking about it all the time. He even asked, did I hate him? He even he even asked, did I hate him? To that question, did not answer anything. I just hated. To that question, I did not answer anything. I just looked out. I looked at him with a look that showed that I did not hate looking at him. With a look that showed that I did not hate him. That evidently he did not understand the meaning of my eyes. And he looked at her for a long time, but apparently he did not understand the meaning of my eyes. And after a while, he seemed to be confused by his own questions. He stood up, then paced back and forth, looking confused by his own questions. He stood up, then paced in front of me and didn't ask anymore. After we were silent for a while, he paced in front of me and didn't ask anymore. You were silent for a while, he said harshly. Well, no matter how you treat me, I will say that I love you very much. Yes, I have to say this. I love you so much, love you so much. The question ended by kissing the palm of my hand. I felt ticklish and my hair stood on end. When he kissed my hand again, I went limp. I then sat down on my knees. When he kissed my hand again, I went limp. I then withdrew my hand and ran into the house, locking the door. Carnine screamed and grabbed my hand and ran into the house, locking the door. Carnine was screaming for me, but I didn't want to go out anymore. After a while, I picked him from calling me, but I didn't want to come out again. After a while, I picked at him from the window. I saw he was still standing staring at the door without blinking. While at the window, I saw he was still standing staring at the door without blinking. Yellow flowers were scattered on top of them among the green leaves. Of it, yellow flowers scattered among the green leaves. I feel sorry for him. I want to say that I love him too. Really, 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 really love him. And I feel like flying in the sky. Really, 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 really love him. And I feel like I like flying in the sky when he kissed my hand. The question ended by kissing the palm of my hand. I felt ticklish and my hair stood on end. When he kissed my hand again, I went limp. I then sat down on my knees. When he kissed my hand again, I went limp. I then withdrew my hand and ran into the house, locking the door. Carnine screamed and grabbed my hand and ran into the house, locking the door. Carnine was screaming for me, but I didn't want to go out anymore. After a while, I begged him for calling me, but I didn't want to come out again. After a while, I begged at him From the window, I saw he was still standing staring at the door without blinking. Well, at the window, I saw he was still standing staring at the door without blinking. Yellow flowers were scattered on top of them among the green leaves. Above it, yellow flowers scattered among the green leaves. I feel sorry for him. I want to say that I love him too. At night in bed, I feel asleep thinking about what happened under the yellow this afternoon. Imagine Carnine, a sympathetic young man who was under yellow this afternoon. Imagine Carnine, a sympathetic young man who is much adored by girls, has expressed has expressed his love to me. His happiness much adored girls. He has expressed his love to me. Is there any more beautiful happiness than that? I caressed my hand, then that he kissed. I clung to something more beautiful than that. I grasped my hand within which I grasped my hand which he kissed. I pressed it to my cheek, my cheek, my cheek, my cheek. I pressed it to my cheek. The next day, when I met Carnine on my way to school, I'm pounding and nervous. He accompanies me and is nervous. He accompanied me and asked how the answer was asking how I answered the question. I answered his question yesterday. I was even nervous because he walked right next to me. At his question yesterday, I was even nervous because he was walking right next to me. I was ashamed of my friends and I couldn't answer his questions. Then I was ashamed of my friends and I couldn't answer the question. Then I ran away from him, chased my friends who were walking in front of me and ran away from him, chased my friends who were walking in front of me and went with them. When I came home from school, I saw Carmine waiting for me in the school of the school gate on his bicycle. I dare not go out. My friends started making fun of me on the bike. I dare not go out. My friends started making fun of me. I am very embarrassed. But suddenly we all feel we all fell silent because we saw Carnine was very embarrassed. But suddenly we all felt silent because we saw Carnine waving his hand calling for Endang. They both talked and waved their hands calling for Endang. They both talked and laughed for a while. Then they both left. Carnine took Endang with him. He laughed for a moment. Then they both left. Carnine rides Endang. Seeing that my throat felt like it was clogged and almost burst into tears. My heart is so hot, and I feel offended in front of friends. Seeing that my throat felt like it was clogged and almost burst into tears. My heart my heart is so hot and I feel offended in front of my friends. I'm so hot and I feel offended in front of my friends. Apparently, Carnine was also offended by my attitude that morning, and I was very angry with him. If we happened to meet, I turned my face to him and Carnine. If I changed we met, I looked away and Carnine became even more indifferent. I'm so irritated, more and more indifferent. I'm so annoyed. To me, he is like a beautiful fire in the dark, lonely night. When approached, will. To me, he is like a beautiful fire in the dark, lonely night. When approached, it will feel warm and comfortable. But if it too close, I am afraid of getting burned. Ah, why it is so hard to feel warm and comfortable. But if I get too close, I'm afraid of getting burned. Ah, why this is a difficult path for me to take. This is but this is a path must this is a path I must take. I then told all that to Tuti, my only trusted friend. Told Tuti that I really love Karna and that I am really confused, and I told Tuti and I told Tuti that I really love Karna and that I am very confused and restless. Tuti also comforted and calmed my heart and ensured that everyone would be restless. Tuti also comforted and calmed my heart and ensured that everything would be okay. Unbe- un- Unbeknownst to me, everything I told Tuti, she conveyed. Unbeknownst to me, everything I told Tuti, she conveyed to Carnine and spread to all of my friends. To all my friends. I don't know why it happened to Carnine and spread to all my friends. I don't know why it came to be known to everyone. According to Tuti, it was Carnine who spread the story until it was known to everyone. According to Tuti, it was Carnine who spread the story. He does this because he is motivated by joy. So because he is motivated by joy, he forgets. But I can't justify that matter. I feel like I'm losing face. I'm embarrassed. That thing. I feel like I'm losing face. I'm embarrassed. When I met Carnine, I had to act cold. On the other hand, Carnine dared to push and attack me. Everything then lost its beauty. More than more and more daring to press and attack me. Everything then loses its beauty, especially when a male friend joins in quipping about my love for. Even more so when a male friend quipped about my love for Carnine. Finally, I feel that I have been underestimated and cheap. I'm Carnine. I couldn't hold my. Finally, I feel that I have been underestimated and cheap. I couldn't hold myself back anymore. Very angry, I told them that I couldn't not hold back any longer. Very angry, I told them that the news I loved Carnine was a lie, and I add that the news that I love Carnine is just a lie, and I add that I hate Carnine so much. There's no way Carnine will get me. I hate Carnine so much. There's no way Carnine will get me. In a moment, the talk had spread and reached Carnine. I didn't. In an instant, the talk had spread and reached Carnine. I didn't realize what would happen because of that. And I really wouldn't have realized what would happen because of that. And I really will not care about it. A few days later, Carnine came to another day, and then Carnine came to the house, but I didn't want to. I didn't to see him. I met him. I asked my mother to tell me that I wasn't home. However, I asked my mother to tell me that I wasn't home. However, I felt that Carnine knew my life. However, I felt that Carnine knew my life. The next day, when I came out, I felt that Carnine knew my life. The next day, when I left the gate to go to school, Carnine stopped me and at the gate to go to school. Carnine confronted me there. He said in a harsh voice, "You don't have to be afraid or surprised. I will not doubt you. I'll just say, you are cruel. I love you sincerely and willingly. Eh, I'll just say, I'll just say you're cruel. I love you sincerely and willingly. I try to say you're cruel. I love you sincerely and willingly. I try to love you honestly and openly, but you played me. Love you honestly and openly, but you played me. If you didn't love me, why didn't you tell me when I first? If you didn't love me, why didn't you say it when I first confessed my love? If you were honest that you never confessed my love, If you are honest that you do not love me, of course I will not be hurt and will resign from loving me. Of course I will not be hurt and I will resign willingly. But apparently you want to play with my feelings willingly. But apparently you want to play with my feelings. You don't love me, but you won't let me go. You want to be adored. You don't love me, but you want to let me go. You want to be adored. You gave me a little hope so that I still adore you. But actually, you gave me a little hope so that I still adore you. But actually, that hope is just false. You play with people's feelings. Once upon a time, that hope was just false. You play with people's feelings. Once in a while, you will definitely get the answer. You told Tuti that you'd definitely get something in return. You told Tuti that you also love me back. I am very happy and tell you that you love me back. I was very happy and told my friends about it, but instead you deny it and tell your friends otherwise. But instead you deny it and tell your friends otherwise. You don't hesitate to embrace me in front of my friends. You don't hesitate to embrace me in front of your friends. For men, honor and self-respect are very friends. For men, honor and self-respect are very important, but you have trampled on my pride and honor. I'm important, but you have trampled on my pride and honor. I can't forgive you anymore. Tomorrow I will go to Jakarta. I will leave Klaten forever. I've lost face here. I left Klaten for good. I've lost face here. I'm going in hey ho. I'm going in hey ho. Maybe we'll never see each other again. For the last time I say, maybe we will never see again. For the last time I say, I love you very much. I can't forget you, but I can't really love you. I can't forget you, but I can't forgive you. To me, you are like poison in blood. To me, you are like poison in the blood, but I will forgive you. To me, you are like poison in the blood, but I will still love you, still love you. After the last sentence, he just kept going. All his words. After the last sentence, he just kept going. I listened to all his words as if there was a knife stuck in my chest. I wanted I wanted to get down on my knees and listen as if there was a knife stuck in my chest. I wanted to kneel down and kiss his feet, but I couldn't. I was in a daze. I was crying and felt kissing her feet, but kissing his feet, or I couldn't. I was dazed. I cried and I felt crushed inside. When he felt when he felt I could barely stand up anywhere. When he left, I could barely stand up anymore. I can see the crumbs inside. When he left, I could barely stand up anymore. I couldn't see clearly his body shape when he walked away, leaving me. My vision was clear. His body shape when he left my vision was covered by puddles of tears. A faint sight separated me from being covered by a pool of tears. A faint sight separates me from him. To him, that day, I could not go to school. Tuti visited me. I told Tuti everything that Karnayan had misunderstood, and Tuti once again convinced Tuti and Karnayan had misunderstood, and Tuti once again reassured me that I should not give up, me that I should not despair. The next day, Karnayan still went to Jakarta. Tuti had tried to explain to Karnayan. The next day, Karnayan was still going to Jakarta. Tuti had tried to explain to Karnayan what he caused him to misunderstand. I love him. I love him so much, but what caused him to misunderstand? I love him so much, but a magical power causes me to be unable to pronounce it. I am so supernatural power that I can't pronounce it. I am very weak. Weak. I can't forget Carnine. He has sworn a sincere and holy love. I also in my heart have sworn love and loyalty to him. I will also in my heart have sworn love and loyalty to him. I will look forward to it. I don't know when he will return. I will still be waiting for him. I will look forward to it. I don't know when he will return. I will still be waiting for him. I'll show you, even though I can't say I love him. I'll show you, even though I can't say I love him. I will look forward to it. Keep waiting, waiting for it, keep waiting. Then came the news that Carnine had entered Heiho and was sent to Burma for ordering and returning ordering and returned in the form of a corpse. Carnine died in Burma, but I will stay and go home in the form of a corpse. Carnine died in Burma, that I will still be his. Whether she comes home healthy, disabled, or dead, she is still my lover. Hers, whether he comes home healthy, disabled, or died, or dead, he is still my lover. And just as the earth knows only the sun, only one sun, and just as the earth knows only one sun, my heart only knows. And just as the earth knows only one sun, my heart knows only one lover. My parents' efforts to marry me. I will always know one lover. Attempts by my parents to marry me, I always refused. In my heart, I feel that I have become Carnine's wife. I am very obedient, devoted, refused. In my heart, I feel that I have become Carnine's wife. I am very obedient, devoted, and loyal to him. A good wife always makes good food and it's loyal to her. A good wife always makes delicious food for her husband. Sew nice handkerchiefs for her husband. Nice for her husband. Sew beautiful handkerchief for her husband. That's all for the drama. Thank you for attention. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.